From Fox 5 New York, this is Good Day Weekend.
Good morning. It's Sunday, April 20th. I'm Lisa Evers in the Fox 5 newsroom. Thank you for joining us live on the Fox Local app, and happy Easter. Flames destroyed a Catholic church in Queens on Holy Saturday. The fire started just before 2 p.m. at St. Edward Church on Rockaway Point Boulevard. Over 100 fire and EMS responded to the scene. 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries. There was no Holy Saturday Mass scheduled, but members of the church were there earlier in the afternoon preparing for Easter Sunday. The diocese now says the 10:30 a.m. Mass, which would have taken place at St. Edmund's this morning, will now take place at St. Thomas More in Breezy Point. A mother in a wheelchair and her 8-year-old son with autism were found dead inside a Bronx home Friday night, and police are saying the deaths are not deemed suspicious. Officers conducting a wellness check found the child and the 35-year-old woman unresponsive in the home in the borough's Wakefield section just before 8:30 p.m. They were pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation continues. Taking a look at the forecast, another beautiful day for the holiday. Temps will nearly reach the 70s. Tonight will cool down with wind gusts, and tomorrow temps will drop as clouds roll in with showers in the evening. An investigation is underway in Queens Saturday after a fire truck hit and kills a bicyclist. It happened at about 4 in the afternoon in Middle Village. Police say the FDNY fire truck was turning from 80th Street onto Juniper Boulevard North when it collided with a man on a bike. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Citizen App was there just after police arrived. So far, no word on the age of the victim or who was at fault. Migrant rights were front and center of the hands-off protest in Midtown Saturday. As Fox 5's Jessica Formoso reports, those who attended say more needs to be done to stop the Trump administration's deportations.
Thousands of New Yorkers rallying outside the New York Public Library in Bryant Park. Protesters flooding the stairs of the building, spilling onto Fifth Avenue, protesting for immigrant rights and policy reform. The hands-off migrant march comes on the heels of the Trump administration's attacks on the migrant community, specifically the deportations of legal U.S. permanent residents like Maryland's Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was wrongfully detained and sent to the notorious prison in El Salvador with MS-13 gang members. President Trump claims he is an MS-13 gang member, despite the fact he has not been charged with any gang-related crimes.
The idea that we're just right now deporting people who are legally in the country to foreign nations and then throwing our hands in the air saying, oh, we can't get them back. It's disgusting to me.
That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad.
Tony Alfieri holding these signs with the faces of other immigrants who have been detained by ICE and their whereabouts are unknown.
These are people who are innocent until proven guilty. They're entitled to due process. It's a fundamental American principle. It's an issue of morality, and we have to bring them back so that they can go through that due process.
I'm a naturalized citizen, but I'm now learning that it's not even mean anything, because with this administration, you never can tell when he starts scraping up naturalized citizens and saying, we're going to revoke your citizenship and send you back.
That's your fear now.
That's a fear that most of us have.
And after protesting outside the New York City Public Library, the thousands of protesters took to the street, marching down 42nd Street.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
The protesters believe American democracy is being threatened, and that is why they say they can't be silenced.
We just care about civil rights and the rights that founded this country.
And so they will continue to march in hopes Congress will do something. In Midtown, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
The Supreme Court tells President Trump to stop using an 18th century law to deport Venezuelans, at least for now. The court announced a pause in response to an emergency appeal from the American Civil Liberties Union, which charged that the Trump administration was preparing more deportations under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The act has only been invoked 3 other times in American history, most recently during World War II to hold Japanese American civilians in internment camps. The Supreme Court has said previously that detainees facing deportation are entitled to a chance to argue their case in court. The Trump administration is expected to try and convince the court to lift the temporary pause. Russian President Vladimir Putin has announced a temporary Easter ceasefire in Ukraine that began Saturday. Putin citing humanitarian reasons for the ceasefire. Russia and Ukraine also swapped hundreds of captured soldiers in the largest exchange since Moscow's full-scale invasion started over 3 years ago. According to the Kremlin, the ceasefire will end midnight Monday, following Easter Sunday. A daily pill may work as well as an Ozempic shot. That's the finding from a clinical study by Eli Lilly. Fox 5's Teresa Priolo breaks down how it works and when it might end up on the market.
There could be a new kid on the weight loss block, but this time it's not an injectable, it's a pill. The first of its kind from Eli Lilly, aiming to do the same thing as other GLP-1 injectables like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro.
This orforglipron is very exciting because it's really a new tool that we have in our arsenal against obesity. And what's great about it is that it's oral.
The drug is in phase 3 clinical trials, aiming to hit the market by the end of the year. Eli Lilly says the pill shows effective results that are consistent with the injectables.
The results announced today were specifically for patients with type 2 diabetes, and it did prove to be effective at lowering patients' A1C. And then Eli Lilly also noted that patients like the other GLP-1 agonists lost weight. So on average, they lost about 16 pounds, but they think that that wasn't the end.
But there could be a downside, not only in the compound of the pill, but also how it's ingested.
This new drug, orforglipron, is a very complicated structure. There are a lot of rings and bonds and circles, and a complicated structure means that it's difficult for the body to break down. So my concern with this is that long term, we could see more sequelae. There could be a downside to this drug.
Teresa Priolo, Fox 5 News.
A Long Island nonprofit is connecting young adults on the autism spectrum with some new furry friends. And as our Jody Goldberg explains, these pets provide much more than companionship.
I'm doing great with the dog.
You're doing a really great job.
Michael Estacchio is proof the old saying is true.
Very good, Mike.
A dog is, in fact, a man's best friend.
I pet them and socialize with them.
You can find the 26-year-old here at Paws of War in Wisconsin on Wednesday mornings. It's where he and other young adults from the Winter Center for Autism take part in a program through Paws of War known as Spectrum Paws.
We get dogs that are coming from local shelters, overseas for our active military members that we're rescuing, to horrific puppy mills.
The nonprofit rescues dogs and cats, and young adults like Michael are taught how to care for them before they're placed with veterans and first responders.
These young adults learn everything from how to groom a dog, how to walk a dog, how to socialize a dog, and so many other things.
The Spectrum Paws program runs about a year, and while everyone is, of course, welcome back here at any time, the goal is to learn the skills and then move on to employment or other volunteer opportunities.
When they leave here, they have a tremendous amount of experience now.
Olivia Chen started with the program last year.
Seeing animals happy and changing their lives makes me happy.
Hi, Mia. And now she has a job here, working as a kennel technician.
The best thing that's ever happened to me.
Up to 85% of adults with autism are unemployed. Paws of War hopes to change that statistic.
We have dogs that come in that are frightened, that trust nobody, and she will go in the kennel and spend 2-3 hours with them, and they will start coming out of their shell.
It's a win for the dogs.
Making them happy, seeing them smile and wag their tail makes me happy.
And it's also a win for Michael.
When I'm with them, I feel like I'm happy here.
Olivia.
I love animals. It's always been my dream to work with animals.
And for all of the other young adults who are learning the skills to succeed. In Wisconsin, Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News. Astoria, the wild turkey, has been spotted again. She was perched for a while on a fire escape on the Upper East Side, even drawing a crowd of onlookers. But before she could be captured, she flew off and is once again in the wind. She has a nest on Roosevelt Island, but it's mating season, so she flew over the East River into Manhattan, which could be very dangerous. Experts believe
Manhattan is much more dangerous than Roosevelt Island, particularly Midtown Manhattan. There's more traffic. There There are people that don't know how to deal with her. Their dogs.
Experts believe she will eventually make it back to Roosevelt Island. If you see her, just let her be and observe from a distance. Let's take a look at your weekend weather. Today, mostly sunny skies with temps in the upper 60s. Tonight will cool off with gusty winds, and tomorrow we'll have cloudy skies with a chance of rain in the evening. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Day Weekend. Here's a look at your Sunday forecast. Today, mostly sunny skies and wind gusts with temps in the upper 60s. Tonight, cooler temps in the mid 40s. And tomorrow, cloudy skies and evening rain with temps just reaching 60. This week on the 6 o'clock news, we talk tariffs and the impact they could have if you're planning any home improvement projects as we head into the warmer months. New York Post financial correspondent Lydia Moynihan joined Natasha and Bianca on the couch for a deep dive on the hot topic.
Great to be here talking about the subject of the entire month, basically.
And now it's going to affect home renovation projects, too.
What's so shocking is you hear about these tariffs and you don't even think about what the implications will be. And what we're seeing in basically the week or so since they were first enacted and then seemingly lifted is just how broad the impact will be. And I have to caveat all of this by saying, as we know, these are changing rapidly, and it's very possible that tonight or tomorrow that everything could be lifted and we'll go back to normal. But as of now, we are seeing estimates that are ready with these tariffs that are in place, primarily on China and about 10% everywhere else. Home costs are going to go up at least 10% if you're buying. And if you think about it, pretty much everything we get in this process comes from abroad. So obviously we get a lot of our appliances from China, dishwashers, laundry and dryers, and we get a lot of our hardwoods from South America, from Canada. All of those are goods that are imported. And it's really unfortunate, too, just doing some reporting. You speak with folks who had been waiting until mortgage rates and interest rates come down, right? They thought, okay, hopefully we'll get a little relief there. And now as we're seeing hope that these interest rates are coming down, that you can get a more affordable mortgage, unfortunately, now it looks like the cost of actually building a home is going up. So it's unfortunate timing in that regard.
So the people that are like, maybe I should do something big or wanted to do something big, is it almost like just do it now real fast before it really goes up, or wait and see how things play out?
Well, I think given the uncertainty and given the hope that maybe all of these could get lifted, I think we are seeing a lot of people wait, because the fact is we've already seen, especially with some home goods stores, we've already seen and heard from consumers that prices are getting jacked up. Even some of the folks we've spoken with had been ordering something from Restoration Hardware or a Crate and Barrel and saw that those prices went up even after ordering them. So a lot of these companies are sort of using this as an opportunity to potentially raise prices.
We've heard a lot about the car prices and the car parts being affected by this. That could also affect car insurance, too.
Exactly. It's another impact you just really didn't think of.
You don't think of that.
Well, all of this, if you remember back in COVID, I think the best analogy is everything was more expensive pretty much overnight, and everything was hit with a supply chain issue. So that's what we're facing here as well. And as we know, there's thousands of pieces that go into a car. And anytime you get into a crash or something goes awry, you're going to need one of those little teeny tiny parts, probably that is not actually built or manufactured in the US. So we're going to be looking at a bit of a lag there. As a result, you know, we're seeing insurance costs are going to be rising, because these insurance companies are going to have to pay more for the same goods that we were getting.
We'll be right back with a look at what you missed this week on Good Day New York. But first, let's take a look at the weather for the week ahead. Welcome back to Good Day Weekend. I'm Lisa Evers. Here's a look at your Sunday forecast. Today, mostly sunny skies and wind gusts with temps in the upper 60s. Tonight, cooler temps in the mid 40s. And tomorrow, cloudy skies and evening rain with temps just reaching 60. When you think of history, math doesn't usually come to mind, but you may not realize it. Mathematics plays a big role in our everyday lives. Crystal Young takes us to the National Museum of Mathematics, where you can see how it all adds up.
The National Museum of Mathematics, affectionately called MoMath, is a place where kids of all ages can have a good time. This is the square-wheeled tricycle. And believe it or not, even though it is tons of fun, it does relate to math. The executive director and CEO, Cindy Lawrence, is going to tell us, how is this teaching us about math?
Well, you wouldn't think that square wheels could roll as a bicycle.
Right.
And they wouldn't on a flat floor, but this is a very specially shaped track, and it turns out you need math to figure out what shape the track could be. And you know what? Math makes something that seems impossible, possible.
I love it. Possible and super fun. Okay, there's so much to see here, so I'm gonna step off. Cindy, come with me. There is an interactive floor. What are we looking at here, and how can we have fun?
This floor is going to react to where we step.
Okay.
And we keep creating new planets orbiting around the sun, and every planet connects to the one before only with straight lines.
Okay.
But the combination of straight lines starts to create things like curves.
Oh, wow.
All kinds of colorful patterns. Everybody loves this, from age 2 to age 102.
I bet, absolutely. Like if you got feet and you can step on it and make it do some fun things.
Look how we're getting it like a heart shape, a curve.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think you could get a curve from straight lines, but again, math makes the impossible possible.
You are so correct. We are living it and seeing it. Okay, we're gonna slide over to something else fun.
We're gonna check out the human tree.
The human tree. Got you. Okay, so now there's 2 round areas to stand in.
Yeah.
You're gonna stand in one, I'm gonna stand in the other, and then you tell me what we're gonna be doing and seeing, okay?
We are actually changing ourselves into human fractals. So a fractal is something that keeps repeating at ever smaller size. And so we've replaced your arms with small copies of your torso, and then the arms on that smaller copy with still smaller copies. We've added some flowers and some leaves to celebrate the coming of spring and summer. But you're turning yourself into a mathematical object, a fractal. And everybody has fun with this.
Oh, I love it. So we are at 225 5th Avenue, MoMath. They're open 364 days a year. Bring grandma, bring whoever you want, no matter how great they are at math, they will have a good time here. I'm going to say that's it for me at the National Museum of Mathematics, or MoMath. You gotta come check this place out.
We'll be right back with a look at what you missed this week on Good Night, New York. But first, let's take a look at the weather for the week ahead. Welcome back to Good Day Weekend. I'm Lisa Evers. Here's a look at your Sunday forecast. Today, mostly sunny skies and wind gusts with temps in the upper 60s. Tonight, cooler temps in the mid 40s. And tomorrow, cloudy skies and evening rain with temps just reaching 60. For some, today is Easter Sunday. Later, for others, it's the end of Passover. For more and more people, it's a different kind of holiday. Crystal Young and Ryan Christopher took us on a journey this week on Good Night, New York, to a luxury dispensary called Charlie Fox if you're looking to partake today.
Right off the bat, I'm thinking this is not your average dispensary.
Yeah. You feel like a kid in a candy store?
I do.
I figured as much.
All right.
Now, right over here, there's little kiosks.
Okay.
It's like fast food.
Okay.
Not fast food. So right on over here, check this out. Super dope Mega Z Dark. I don't know, is that a little too much for us, you think?
Ooh, all right. That sounds like it might be a little intense.
Yeah, okay.
But I guess what's nice about this is that you can just search around for what works for you, right?
The first floor allows you to grab and go, and you can purchase and be out in a New York minute. This is like easy if you want to just come on in, but maybe you're not so much into cannabis and you feel a little uncomfortable. I think on the second floor, you can actually sit down and they'll like walk us through it.
Okay, right. Questions. They have answers. All right, this makes sense.
Let's go.
Let's go to 2.
Yeah.
We're out. Oh, wow.
This is beautiful up here.
Nice.
Huh? They got a bar?
I know. Look at it. This is a luxury. The
second floor feels and looks like a lounge. It's where the bud tenders or cannabis sommeliers will walk you through all of the offerings.
You can sit down at the bar, ask them questions, and feel that if we're doing our job right, that you are welcome and your questions are welcome to understand this exciting new world of cannabis.
And this is Favi, one of the sommeliers here this evening. Thank you so much for introducing us to all this.
When you come in to the second floor, you're able to look at a nice paper menu, see all the product we have, and then you're able to speak with us and we can kind of explain what might work best for you.
Let's start with the gummies.
So we have 4 different flavors of gummies. We have the Sleep, the Relax, the Creative, and the Social.
Okay.
So Sleep is going to be black cherry, Relax is passion fruit, Creative is mango, and Social is tangerine. And they're all delicious.
Now, do you find people are surprised when they walk in and they see that it's categorized like this? Because it seems pretty simple. It's not like we have to decide how we're feeling. We're just like, I want to be creative. Like that.
Right. People are surprised. It really simplifies the process. These are non-infused, so you're welcome to
look at that.
All right.
We can taste test and we won't get in trouble.
Non-infused. Okay, so I like orange things. So wait,
okay,
what is
so
this
the
now?
tangerine might be good for you. This is the social one.
The social butterfly.
Yeah,
like,
wait,
she needs more of that. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do I need to be more social? Probably not, but I love tangerine.
Where's the sleep one?
Go for it.
The sleep one is this one.
Okay,
it's
here you
dark
go.
cherry.
Really?
So, no, I'm kidding.
So you could be drooling in 5 minutes?
I'll take a nap. You can talk more. And
Okay. Then I had questions for our Sam Favi, who wasn't always in the cannabis biz. What did you do before this? Because I've never heard of Sam for this type of a business. Were you always doing something like this?
I wasn't.
Okay, what were you doing?
Before this, I was a labor and delivery nurse.
Okay. All right. Now, do you see those two things as aligning or locking up?
In a lot of ways, they do. I get to spend a lot of time with people, kind of really hearing them out, hearing their concerns.
Okay.
And helping guide them to something that's going to improve their life.
All right.
This time, it's not babies, it's cannabis.
All right,
That's
there
it.
you go.
Just in a different way.
Okay.
But babies and cannabis both make people smile, right? So you're bringing joy to the world.
We'll be right back with this morning's top stories. But first, here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the week ahead.